All right, so Happy New Year to everybody who celebrates the New Year's. On the 29th of December, we will be having a Mercury retrograde start, and this Mercury retrograde will be in the sign of Capricorn, and this affects every single rising sign in a certain way, depending on what your rising sign is and which house you have Capricorn in. So first, let me start with the dates of this Mercury and Capricorn transit. So first things first, back on December 6th, we had Mercury ingress into the sign of Capricorn in 0 degrees. So on this date, you might have already had some type of message or conversation about a certain topic, and this is whatever that house you have Capricorn in, that's the topic of this conversation that you might have had. If not on December 6th, you might have had some sort of conversation or a message come to you around the 12th of December, because on the 12th, Mercury started its pre-shadow phase in 8 degrees of Capricorn. And then on December 29th, the retrograde period starts in 24 degrees of Capricorn. So January 18th is when the Mercury retrograde will be over in 8 degrees of Capricorn. So it'll start moving direct into its post-shadow phase. And that is over on the 7th of February in 24 degrees of Capricorn. And then the 11th of February is when Mercury is in Aquarius, but that's a whole other video. So now let's start your astrology forecast for this Mercury retrograde. So let's start with the sign of Aries. Now, Capricorn is your 10th house. So the 10th house deals with your career, your job, your boss, your father figure, your boss-like figure. So there could have been misunderstandings in this portion of your life, in this sector of your life, dealing with work, career, your future, who you're meant to be. So if you are a student at a university, you might have been thinking about different career options for yourself, and there might be a little bit of a confusion in that portion of your life. Or maybe you already have a career and this is just about your job. So maybe there was a bit of a misunderstanding here, or maybe the misunderstanding hadn't really started yet because the Mercury retrograde starts on the 29th of December. But what had happened was that some sort of message came to you about work or about your boss or from your boss. Like you might be having conversations with your boss and there could be a misunderstanding there. However, after the 18th of January, this misunderstanding is going to be cleared up and everything will be all good in the month of February. So that's that for Aries risings with, in terms of their career, their future plans, their future career goals, and their interactions with their bosses or fatherly-like figures. On to the next rising sign, we have Taurus. So Capricorn is the 9th house for Taurus risings, and the 9th house deals with foreign things. So when we talk about Mercury, we talk about messages, right? So you might be receiving messages from people who are far away from you, from foreign countries, or you might be receiving messages like in a foreign language. Like if you speak another language, you might have like family members in another country who are like messaging you or calling you, and there might be some form of a misunderstanding there. So, and you know what, the 9th house is also about higher education. So if this is not about foreign things at all, if this is not about foreign people, foreign places, foreign languages, if this is not about that category, then this is about this could be about universities. So like something about your university, like you received some type of email and it's hard to get through with the people at the university, starting from the 29th of December onward up until the 18th of January. Or this is about teaching and learning. So you might have a misunderstanding with a teacher, with a mentor, or you might be the teacher and you might realize that your students aren't really getting what you're trying to explain to them around this time. So if you are a Taurus rising and you are teaching a class, you might have a hard time with, teaching the people in your class. Back to the foreign thing, if you are receiving messages from these people from foreign places, there might be a misunderstanding, but that could be cleared up after the 18th. So there should be no misunderstandings in the month of February. at least after the first week of February. So that's pretty much it for Taurus risings. All right, so Gemini risings. This Mercury retrograde will take place in your 8th house of Capricorn. So 8th house is about loans and scholarships. It's about like the money that you don't own yourself. So it's like owned by either some other company or the government or, you know, whatever. And that's the money that you're utilizing. So there might be a misunderstanding there with like the loans that you're trying to get. So maybe you're not going to be able to get the loan. And after the 18th of January, you're going to finally receive it. So there might be some complications there. Be careful when you're signing something. So if you're signing to get a loan or a scholarship around this time, like be careful with what you're signing. Like read everything carefully, okay? Because Mercury retrograde also have an effect on the contracts that you sign and like with what you're reading. So like be careful with what you read. Also the 8th house is about like your psychological state of mind, so how you're doing psychologically. So with this Mercury retrograde, you might have to like focus more on your mental health, and then like it will get better from the 18th of January onward up until February. So the first week of February is when the post shadow phase is going to be over. So from the 7th of February and onward, like you might not have a problem with. Okay, now the 8th house also deals with like attraction. So you might have some complications with like the people who feel like attracted to you. There might be misunderstandings there as well, okay? But then it gets cleared up after the 18th of January. And that's it for Gemini risings. I will move on to the next rising sign. So for Cancer risings, this is about having a miscommunication issue with the person in front of you. This could be literally anyone who you talk with. So like talking to people might be hard for Cancer risings, especially because Capricorn is the opposite sign of Cancer. So it's like the person who is in front of you. This could be a significant person, so this could be your partner, or this could be you know, a person that you work with, like that main partner. Sorry. Like that main partner that you have that you always talk to. So there's going to be a miscommunication problem with the person in front of you. I honestly don't have much to say. Like this transit will take place from the 29th of December up until the 18th of January. So for the next 3 weeks, you're going to have a hard time with, you know, the person that you're talking to. So like you might try to tell them something and they just might not get it, or they might want to tell you something and you just might not get it. That's pretty much it, honestly. So like just be careful with what goes on over there, and like be careful with like the messages that you're sending. Like you could send it to like the wrong person, or like, you know, it's basically a Mercury retrograde that affects how you interact with people. All right, so I'm just gonna move on to the next rising sign. So Leo risings, this is about your 6th house. This is about, you know, how you work. So this could be about how you study. So this Mercury retrograde could help you out with a new study plan, a new study routine. If you're not in school, if you're not studying at all, then this could be about work in general, how you work with people, okay, how you work with the people inside your classroom if you are a student, or how you work with your coworkers at work. So you might need to figure out a new style of working, because there's going to be some miscommunication issues with the people that you work with. If this is not about work or schoolwork, then this could be about health matters. So if you have received some kind of message, or if you did have a conversation in the 2nd or 3rd week of December about your health, then this Mercury retrograde is going to be about you taking care of your health, of health matters. So if you're not taking care of health matters, or if you're not working or doing any schoolwork, then this could generally be about your diet. So diets are included in this topic because, you know, when you talk about working and your health, you know, what you eat also matters. So this could be about trying to learn how to cook a new recipe. You know, like if you've been trying to figure out how to cook something, then you might be learning that for the next 3 weeks. So diets, health, working, studying, or this could be about house pets. You know, how you treat your house pets at home. You know, like you might need to walk your dog more often, or, you know, feed them a certain way. You might need to buy new pet food because there might be an issue with the brand that you've been buying, you know. So something in that sector of your life, that sixth house sector. So health, working, um, diets, and house pets. So that's all that I have for Leo risings. I'm going to move on to the next rising sign. So Virgo risings, you are having this Mercury retrograde in your fifth house of love, romance, children, activities like hobbies, or you know, your childhood hobbies, or entertainment. Okay, so if you are in the entertainment business, so if you work as an entertainer, you might have some problems in this sector of your life for the next 3 weeks. Okay, so you might be having a problem with how you present yourself in you know, this sector of your life, with how you entertain, or with your hobbies. There might be some misunderstandings there, or if you have children, you might have some misunderstandings with your own children, but that will be cleared up after the 18th of January. So miscommunication with your kids, or with your romantic partner. So if you are in a romantic relationship, you could be having some miscommunication issues with that person. So that's all that I have for Virgo risings. I'm going to move on to the next rising sign. So with Libra risings, this Mercury retrograde will take place in their fourth house of home, family, and the motherly figure. So the mother, like you might have a miscommunication problem with your mother from the 29th of December up until the 18th of January. If this is not about your mother, this is about people in your home. So like in your home, or just with family members, you might have some issues over there. Or this could be an issue about a house. So maybe not your home and family life, but about specifically a house. Like maybe you've been trying to buy a house and there seems to be a problem with the contract over there. So be careful with signing anything. So if you are trying to buy a new house, then like carefully read everything like 2 or 3 times and make sure you know exactly what you're signing up for. All right, so that's all that I have for Libra risings. I will move on to the next rising sign. So Scorpio risings are having this Mercury retrograde in their third house of communication. So Mercury is already the planet of communicating. So having this Mercury retrograde take place in your third house of communication, it's like you might really have some problems with how you communicate. Also, if this is not specifically about communication itself, this could be about a sibling or a cousin. So you might have a misunderstanding with a sibling or a cousin, or someone in the neighborhood, or with like a very close friend, a very close classmate or partner in your area. Okay, so your neighborhood, or someone who's close in your bloodline, like, you know, a sibling or a cousin, you might have a misunderstanding over there. And the third house could also be about commuting, so about short distance travel. So be careful while driving, be careful while trying to take trains or buses, you know, just be careful with how you get to your destination, because there might be some problems over there as well from, again, the 29th of December up until the 18th of January. All right, so let me move on to the next rising sign. Next up, we have Sagittarius. So for Sagittarius risings, this Capricorn Mercury retrograde will be in your second house of income, of, you know, ownership, of money, of generally just money that you get, money that you own, things that you own. So there might be a misunderstanding over there from the 29th of December up until the 18th of January. So what could be the misunderstanding? So there might be a problem with your paycheck. There might be a problem with, you know, if you were expecting to get money, maybe there's an issue over there. Also, be careful when signing contracts. Make sure you read like everything on the contract, and make sure like you know what you're signing up for. Like, make sure you put that signature there with knowledge of what the contract is about. So, yeah, this is mainly about money matters. So, the money that you own, the money that you get, ownership wise. If you are trying to get ownership of something, this could be anything. Again, be careful when signing contracts. There might be an issue over there. Like, you might be the one to say, well, I am the owner of so and so, but there might be a misunderstanding, a miscommunication problem with that sector, because this is the second house of the things that you own or the money that you receive. So basically a misunderstanding over there, but it will be cleared up after the 18th of January up until the first or second week of February. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I am going to move on to the next rising sign, which is Capricorn. So for Capricorn risings, this is their first house of themselves. So this could be about them having a hard time with being clear about what they want to say. So Capricorn risings might want to express themselves a certain way, and the people are just not understanding it. Okay, so this is going to happen from the 29th of December up until the 18th of January. So be careful with how you speak to others, with how you present yourself out there, because there might be a lot of misunderstandings from the Capricorns. Like, you're going to want to tell people something and no one's going to understand it. Now, this problem will be solved around the 18th of January, and it's pretty much going to be over by the time it's the first or second week of February. So there's that. Also, this could be about your physical appearance. So try not to start anything new. Like, I would not advise getting a new tattoo or a new piercing, because there's a Mercury retrograde happening in your first house. Like, I don't think it's gonna play off that well. So stay away from trying anything new. Like, don't drastically just cut your hair, or don't drastically do something physically. Like, I wouldn't advise it at all. So just stay away from doing that, and be careful when you're trying to communicate with others. So that's pretty much it for Capricorn risings. I will move on to the next rising sign. So Aquarius risings, this Mercury retrograde will take place in your 12th house. This is about people who are behind you. So there might be people gossiping behind your back. This is pretty much stuff behind the scenes that you don't know about, but you might be feeling uncomfortable with it. So this Mercury retrograde will be from the 29th of December up until the 18th of January. And here's the thing, after the 18th of January, like, this problem is going to be solved. And, on the 11th of February, Mercury will move on into the sign of Aquarius, which will make you feel a lot more comfortable. So pretty much all that I could say is that there's probably people talking behind your back, and you might notice it, but you might not be able to do much about it. But later on, like, this problem will be resolved on its own, pretty much. So that's all that I have for Aquarius risings. I will move on to the next rising sign, which is Pisces. So for Pisces rising, this Mercury retrograde will take place in their 11th house of the people, of friends, of groups, of social media. So there might be a misunderstanding in that sector of their lives. So a misunderstanding with your friends, a misunderstanding on social media, a misunderstanding with any type of group. That's pretty much it for Pisces risings. So here we are at the end of our video. Thank you for watching. I am Queen Astro Melissa, and yeah, that was our Mercury retrograde in Capricorn video. And Happy New Year. So that's the end of that.